Hey guys, welcome to the Sunday video. The word of the day is Chinesium, and we're going to be talking about how you can get this over 1,000 piece mechanics tool set for under $70. So let's get into it. Before we get going on how you can get all of these tools for under $70, this whole kit, I want you to take a second, go down and subscribe to the channel. We're doing a giveaway for 500 subscribers, 500. So if you can help us make that happen, we're going to give away another tool, and it really helps me out a lot, you guys. So before we get into this, if you could just take a second, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button so you're notified every time we upload a video and you don't miss any projects like the twin supercharged Fox body that we got going on. I greatly appreciate it. So let's get into it. Alright, so here we go. What the? Let's get this out of here. Alright, so you can see it comes in this pretty nice case actually. We're going to get back to this stuff in just a minute. But you can see it comes in this really, actually pretty nice case. This whole kit, you guys, cost $65, shipped to my door. You can see it has latches, has a nice extendable handle, and it actually has wheels. So let's get this stuff out of here and talk about it a little bit. Alright you guys, so this toolkit right here that you can see behind me is actually from the Wish app. So I know that might be confusing because in a previous video I did, I talked about getting stuff off the Wish app. And I said stuff like shrink wrap, butt connectors, wiring splices, stuff like that, maybe solder wire, that little tiny stuff that would be hard to screw up, I would buy off the Wish app. But I specifically said I would not buy anything like this. But, so bear with me, the whole reason I bought this was the Wish app is so cheap, I wanted to see what this over 1,000 piece mechanics tool set actually had. Now the kit was about $100 and there was a promo coupon that I found and it came out to, with shipping, $65, and it came with that case. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to see how bad this really is. So like I said, you're going to hear the word Chinesium a lot in this video, but let's see how bad this toolkit is, this over 1,000 piece toolkit. So the first thing you're going to notice is this pile of crap right here. So this pile of crap, they just do to get the count up. So they gave you 2 pairs of gloves that are made out of socks, maybe, possibly. I don't know what these would be any good for working on cars. So that's 4 pieces, right? And then we got not 1 bag of zip ties, not 2, not even 3, 4 bags of zip ties. And it looks like these are probably at least 100 count a piece. So there's 400 pieces. Then they gave you some hose clamps, little itty bitty tiny ones, which, I mean, they're useful, okay. Then what I don't understand is they give you 3 bags of wooden dowels. Now this is supposed to be mechanics tool set, so why do we have wooden dowels? Again, to get the part count up. This is China we're talking about. We got some cheap orbital sander discs, which from when the cheap ones I use, they just fly off anyway, and these are a really awkward size, so I don't even have anything these would fit. Then they give us these little bags of washers, which there's not even any bolts for these to fit, and they are so tiny that, again, the only reason that they would do this is to get the parts count up. So as we go down the line here, we got wrenches, we got various types of pliers. They all came in this blow molded case, which is actually pretty nice and convenient. Then the next one, we have screwdrivers and bits, Allen wrenches, a tire pressure gauge. Then we're gonna move on to sockets, ratchets, and on the end, I call this the home ec drawer. But it also has a wire stripper and electrical tape. Alright you guys, so again I got this whole assortment of tools with the carrying case from Wish Tools for $65 shipped to my door. So now what I want to do is I just kind of want to go through this whole kit and let you know what it has, then we'll talk about my thoughts on Chinese tools like this, and then we'll give you a final opinion. So like I said, we got the wrenches here. It's actually a fairly complete set, being the only size it skips from 10 to 17 is the 16, which really doesn't come out that often. We got a pair of dikes, we have a crescent wrench, a channel lock pliers, needle nose pliers, and just your standard pliers there. Then we move on to the screwdrivers. We have regular screwdrivers, a little test light, a ratcheting bit driver, which comes with 4 different sets of bits, precision small screwdrivers, insulated screwdrivers, which I don't think I would trust, and then you have a tire pressure gauge and a chuck for the bits. Over here we have 1/2 inch drive and 1/4 inch drive, oddly enough, sockets. They skipped out on the 3/8. You have an extension here, an extension there. This chintzy kind of flex extension. Then, like I just said, you have a 1/2-inch ratchet, a 1/4-inch ratchet. Move on to the home ec drawer. We got a wire strippers, which is pretty chintzy, but honestly, for this type of wire strippers, is about average. We got a roll of electrical tape, scissors, a hammer, a brass brush, a glue gun, an aluminum level, a couple plastic clamps, various screws and finish nails, and a tape measure. Alright, so what do I think of all this stuff? Now, first of all, let me say the #1 reason that I bought this was curiosity and to make a video for you guys, because I know it's something that I've wondered about before, and it was one of those things where I figured if I was wondering about it, probably a lot of you guys were as well. So, you guys already know how I feel about cheap tools. I'm not a fan, and these things are so cheap that they don't even say made in China on them anywhere, which is kind of weird. But, like I said, for the price, I just had to see how their toolkit was, because to get this many tools for under $100, let alone under $70, with shipping is insane. So, the first thing I want to talk about is these wrenches. So you can tell if I hold it up there that the castings really aren't great on any of these tools, which is to be expected. It says drop steel forge. This is the 12. Now the first thing I want to talk about is how short they are. So this is a 12. I wish I had my snap-on wrenches here to compare, but I guarantee you my snap-on is at least 2 times this long. So one of the issues you run into anytime you buy cheap wrenches is that the length doesn't leave you much room to get any leverage on the tool. So they're pretty short. Again, we're talking about the cheapest toolkit you can possibly buy. I haven't used these yet. I would suspect that my knuckles are going to take a beating, as these will probably span open if you put any type of torque on them at all. So that's the wrenches. The pliers actually, for the price, don't feel too bad. You can see this needle nose has a cutting end on it there. Handle and grip actually feels pretty solid, along with the motion on this channel locks. And again, I'm kind of surprised by the size of this, because normally when you get tools that are this cheap, they come really small. This is actually a decent sized channel locks. The teeth actually seem okay. I've observed other times with cheap pliers that the teeth on here probably are going to round off in a short period of time, but again, we're talking the cheapest of the cheap, so they feel pretty decent. Moving on to the screwdrivers, these screwdrivers seem to be on par with the cheap standard Harbor Freight screwdrivers, which aren't bad. They just lack a few little things that some of the snap-ons and nice ones have, such as the nut drive down here, so you can put a wrench on there for additional leverage, and a striker end. But they actually do feel pretty decent, and they appear to be magnetized, so not too bad. Hard to screw up a screwdriver. You got the little kit of precision screwdrivers here, which again, hard to screw up. Any brand, any store you go to, these are probably made in the exact same place, which is China, so handy to have when you need them. I'm not going to lift all these out of here, but you got Allen wrenches and various little bits and a bit driver here. Again, like I said, I don't think I would trust these insulated screwdrivers at all. Moving on to the ratchets. You can see the handle is pretty short, and the casting, none of it looks too nice. The grip doesn't feel terrible. Like I said with the wrenches, it's really short, so it's going to be hard to get any kind of leverage with it. As far as the tooth count goes, actually better than I expected. I'll let you hear that. But it doesn't sound particularly nice, and it's not particularly fine-toothed. For the price, if you think about the entire kit, this is probably like a $3 ratchet. It'll get you by if you need it in a pinch. They did include some swivels and stuff like that, which actually this is the 1/2-inch swivel, and it surprisingly feels pretty good. I'll let you see that though. You can see a bunch of imperfections in the casting and stuff like that. Again, Chinesium, right? God knows how long this would hold up if you were actually trying to use it. I don't think I'd try to put this on a battery impact or anything like that, like I do to abuse my snap-on stuff. This right here I thought was actually kind of funny, you guys. The home ec drawer, like, why would you give me a glue gun? This is supposed to be a mechanics tool set, along with like little drywall screws and the tape measure and stuff like that. These clamps, I could see, I immediately thought timing belt, because I always end up using paper stack clamps to hold the timing belt in place. Hammer's always nice to have, scissors, stuff like that. And then, like I said, they gave us the wire strippers, which was a nice thought. So, what do I think about this entire kit from Wish? Well, like I said, I'm going to leave this here because I just bought it out of curiosity, but there are times when I bring tools home, because I don't have a ton of tools here, that I forget something. And a lot of times, like last week, I forget something like a Phillips screwdriver, and it's just stupid, because then it makes my job a lot harder, because I go around looking for a Phillips screwdriver. So this is just going to be something that I leave here in my garage just for little odds and ends things. Yes, I'll try to use it as much as I can so I can get back to you guys on how good or terrible that this kit really is, but it's not something that I would buy if you really want to get into working on cars on your own, or any kind of hobby for that matter, where you need hand tools. I think you'd be relatively disappointed with it for that. I think if you have a kid and you're sick of him leaving your tools in your yard, this might be a perfect set of tools for a kid that's just getting into tinkering on things on his own, and then you can upgrade as you go, and if you lose them or break them, no big deal. If you want to leave it in your car as an emergency kit, no big deal, it'd be good for that too. So it'd probably be a good kit for that, just something you need in an emergency emergency situation, or you just keep it around the house because all you do is hang a picture once in a while, or like for my case, just curiosity and to make a video. The other thing I did want to talk about is the sockets. You only get short sockets, which is kind of annoying when you're working on cars, stuff like that. The castings are terrible. They like have this cheap paint over them. They don't seem to skip a lot of sizes, but they go from 20 and then they give you a 30, which is really weird. I don't think I've ever needed a 30, but I have needed a 21 and a 22, which this kit does not have. Got him! So you guys, like I said in the last video, we talked about the different Wish tools and cheap Chinese tools from the Wish app. Chinese tools, you guys already know how I feel about Chinese tools. You don't get any kind of warranty whatsoever, and I can tell you from my personal experience as a technician, experience dealing with many consumer grade and professional grade tools, that these, even though I haven't really used them a whole lot yet, I can tell you right now you'd be pretty disappointed with them if you need to rely on them for any reason at all. Like I said, a backup set, an emergency set in your car. For my sake, I'm just going to leave it here in case I need something in a pinch. It'll probably be okay. And it is pretty incredible that they can sell you all of these tools like this for under $70. So if you want to take the gamble, I mean, it's only 65 bucks, so I guess that's not that bad. And it comes in that little carrying case right there. So I don't know, you know, maybe if you want to try it, go ahead. But personally, if you're looking for a toolkit you can rely on in your garage, start tinkering on your car, work on projects, maybe I would consider getting something like a Cobalt set. Cobalt actually makes very, very good consumer grade hand tools. I'm not talking about their battery stuff. I'm talking sockets, ratchets, wrenches, stuff like that. Craftsman also, if you get the stuff that's made in the USA, makes a decent set of hand tools. So I would maybe look at one of those two. These, I would say, are even cheaper than the stuff that you get at Harbor Freight. So take that as you will. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to close this video out. So if you've enjoyed the video, drop a comment down below, subscribe, and smash that like button so you're notified every time we upload a video, and so you don't miss any of the twin supercharged Fox body build, any tool reviews such as this one, or any related car content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.